I used to chronically play video games, and I remember them being super fun, but the problem was whenever I stepped out of the digital world and into the real world, it was not so fun in comparison. So I really wanted to start liking real life again, and that led me down a path of quitting video games, dopamine detoxing, and during that journey, I discovered why they're so fun and addictive, and in this video I'm going to explain to you how video games imitate all of the things that young men find fulfilling to hopefully help you better understand your addiction. My name is Charlie. My goal is to help other young men overcome their digital addictions, and I want to help you out as well. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the competitive aspect. So in most games where you can have a 1v1 duel, 3v3, 5v5, whatever, the goal is to reach the highest possible rank, and you can only do that by having a really good win rate. I used to be such a sweat in these kind of games, I stopped playing with random people and started going on voice calls with people who I met in my clan or on a server or something so we could talk about who to pick and call stuff out during the matches. I'm a very competitive person. I hate the feeling of losing, and that definitely showed a lot in my gaming era. The game I tryharded the most was definitely Brawl Stars, and in there I got my favorite character to the highest possible rank that you can achieve. And over the couple of years that I played, I definitely had that progression of going from noob starting out and getting really skilled and better and better and better. And by the end, I was even beating these professional players. It's kind of like if you ever did high school sports. I know that stereotype of how the video gamer kids don't really do sports. I don't know if it's true, but I did both, so I'm gonna talk about it. Let's just take tennis as an example. So it's your freshman year, sophomore year, and nobody really cares about your games, no one shows up, but you keep grinding, you're on the court every day and you get better and better. And before you know it, it's your senior year and you get to play the #1 single spot of your entire high school. And you have a match against the rival school in town and people actually care about it, and your crush pulls up to watch, and you take the court, you see your opponent, and you kick his ass. True story. This is a great feeling for a young man, that feeling of putting in the work for years and then seeing the rewards. The problem with video games is they basically hijack this feeling and give you the emotions of winning without having to put in any physical work and discomfort. This boils down to these two terms called instant gratification and delayed gratification. My tennis story that I just described is an example of delayed gratification. All those events happened over the span of like 3 years where you're going and you're grinding on the court, no one really cares, but then one day everyone comes to watch you and you dominate and people start to respect you more. You can get this respect online from other people who play the game, but to reach the highest level does not really require any physical hardship. You're not outside sweating in 90-degree heat or something for 2 hours. You're probably playing in a really comfy chair. So this gets you used to that dopamine feeling of reward and winning without actually having to put in much physical hardship to get there. And when you close the computer and enter the real world, you do have to go through that hardship to get what you want. And it takes a lot longer than to get to the highest tier of the battle pass or something. You can level up your strength skill in like an MMO just by legit clicking the mouse and killing stuff. But for example, to get something like a sick physique IRL, you need years of training right and eating properly, bulking up, cutting down, whatever. Delayed gratification in the real world takes a lot more effort. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how video games give you the illusion of brotherhood and of a social life. If you look at all the other areas of human society around us, you could find that we've always discovered stuff to do that unites us to the other men around us. If our country goes to war or something, you're going to join with many of your brothers to go and hopefully defeat the enemy. And I think that's why COD and some of those other combat shooting games are so popular, because they mimic that element. But even in a normal and peaceful time, why do you think that sports are so popular? Because if you're a sports fan and an athlete, it is a common factor to bring you together with your teammates and your people in your city. And it's definitely very important to have a non-work and leisure hobby that allows you to have a social life, but it's far better when it's organic and in person. You might have what you consider a pretty decent social life online with people in your clan or something, and certainly you can go meet up with some of your IRL friends at someone's house and go play split screen or something. But the problem arises when your social life consists of exclusively people online that you do not know IRL. Not because you're gonna get kidnapped or something, but it's because of what you guys bonded over in the first place. I've actually met a couple of my old video game friends and teammates in real life before, and they're very nice people and we talked about other topics, but the chances are that we would not have been friends if I had not played the game. And the people who you think are your friends because you're calling every night on Discord together, after you stop playing, are not hardly gonna hit you up anymore. It's happened to me, it's happened to some of my friends who've gone through this similar kind of transformation. The last point I wanted to touch on is the element of leveling up your skills. And if you've ever played an MMO or something like that, you'll probably relate to this one the most. Almost every game has a leveling system where you either level up the skills and the power of your character or progress through some kind of battle pass to unlock more stuff, something like that. Or you're just on some game like Minecraft where you can do whatever you want. Maybe you have to try and complete all the achievements or something, but regardless, you start with absolutely nothing and still have to get all the resources and kill all the bosses. It's not some linear progression, but you still have to level up to get all that cool stuff. Why do people hop on and go and train their strength skill or go and make money in the games economy when they could just do that stuff in the real world? The answer comes back to the instant gratification thing from earlier. That dopamine rush you get from leveling up your skill comes without any of the discomfort. Everyone thinks that delayed gratification exclusively comes from time, and that is certainly part of it, but that is not the full definition. It comes from foregoing that instant dopamine and pleasure. And when you sit down in your room and hop on video games, that is basically that instant dopamine. Every guy that I know wants to level up and progress, well, every single person, I would say. The reason most games implement some sort of level scaling feature is because, once again, it imitates natural human desires and behavior, and therefore makes the game feel more relatable, keeping you hooked for longer. Another thing for those who kind of feel like losers a little bit IRL and stay on the computer a lot, is when you consider the level that you have in the games, it honestly makes sense. If you're level 100 on your computer, max strength or something, you're gonna feel good when you're playing because you have achieved a lot and you're very high up within that society in which you exist, in the digital world. But once you have to go back to work or something IRL, and maybe it's some crappy retail job, you transition all the way back down to level 1 very abruptly. This creates a vicious cycle in your head where you're only gonna feel good in the virtual world. What's the solution to start feeling good in real life? Level up. When you hit the gym and make money and create a good circle of friends around you to spend real social time with, and take leisure time that does not involve sitting slouched down in your chair looking at a bright screen in the middle of the night. Most young men are lacking good human connection and relationships, along with the resources to allow them to have a nice life. The only solution, if you want those things, is to go out and get them, create them for yourself, and when you start to get on a bit of a roll and have that feeling where you can just tell your life is improving, you'll get an even better version of that feeling you got whenever you reach the highest rank on the game. Thank you for watching. If you've gotten this far, I hope it kind of helped you understand a little bit of the psychology of why video games are so addictive and fun. If you want more sauce, consider joining my email list. It's in the link in the description. Have a good one.